Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm CJ Tully, and a huge Big Ten rematch between Oregon and Indiana in the playoffs here. Let's talk about it. Last weekend, we saw this Oregon offense put up 23 points to 0 for Texas Tech as they won that one 23 to nothing. And this was a game where you could still take away some negatives about this Oregon team, despite holding Texas Tech to no points. Now, one of the biggest things with this victory was the fact that Texas Tech never had to come back this season in a serious matter. They won 12 of their games by 20 plus points. So Oregon able to put the foot down early, allowed them to just continue to pile on and give Baron Morton no room to breathe. He threw 2 interceptions to Bradley Finley Jr., and he also had an interception against Indiana in their matchup earlier this year. So a great trajectory for him heading into this matchup against Indiana again. Now, on the offensive side of the ball with Oregon, there were some concerns. You saw them go for it 8 times on 4th down, converting on only 4 of those. And yes, Texas Tech was not able to take advantage of that, but you look like a team like Indiana, and they're going to be able to jump on top of that, give themselves great field position, or if you turn down the opportunity to take a field goal, you might see Indiana make you pay for that in the long run. So that is something I'm concerned with here. You did see the run game get going with Jordan Davidson. He had himself 2 touchdowns. Dante Moore did throw an interception in this game as well. We saw him throw 2 of those in their prior matchup with Indiana. So we also saw him throw a few of those in that game against JMU. So that's a bit of a concern to me, is the turnovers, because a team like Indiana is going to make you pay for those, and they've kind of gotten lucky with the fact that Texas Tech was unable to get it going, and JMU was just no competition for that defense. But DeCorian Moore, you're still starting to see him get involved a little bit more. He had more receptions and yardage in that second game than he did in that game against JMU, so glad to see him getting more involved after coming off injury. You look at somebody like Malik Benson, he has been a difference maker for this team as well. But looking at this Indiana team, this is a powerhouse. You look at some of these teams that were coming in off a bye week, and they were just slow, they were sluggish, and they weren't able to get their offense going. This Indiana team, on the other hand, had a completely different story as they beat Alabama 38-3 after Alabama was coming off a very emotional win against Oklahoma, scoring 17 points to get back into that game. That is a game that could have driven Alabama into a whole nother level of play, and just Indiana put their foot down early and did not let up. Now, you did not see Ty Simpson finish that game. It was Austin Mack for Alabama, which definitely played a factor in the final score as that offense was unable to get going. But give the credit to this Indiana defense. They forced a fumble on Ty Simpson while he was still in that game. And this offense, they might not have the flashiest names, but this Indiana offense has the pieces to get this done. They're a very scrappy, young group of guys. You have Elijah Surratt, you have Charlie Becker, and Omar Cooper Jr. all having tremendous performances this season at one point or another. Most recently, it's been Charlie Becker. He has come in here, and he has been a difference maker. You look at that Big Ten championship, 126 yards. He had a touchdown in this game against Alabama. So did Elijah Surratt, and so did Omar Cooper Jr. And something that really stands out to me is how battle-tested this Indiana team is. Fernando Mendoza has had to go down and make some big plays on some crucial drives to finish out some of their biggest games. More specifically, you look at the game against Iowa, Oregon that they had earlier this season, and that game against Penn State where you're on a final drive. And yes, you could look at Penn State as not great competition, but that was tremendous play by Penn State that day, and that showed up where Fernando Mendoza had to make plays. Omar Cooper Jr. in the back of the end zone, my favorite play of any sport in 2025 was that, and just how special it was for that team. And those are the kind of statement wins that build a team together. They give you that drive that, okay, if we're down, we're never counted out. And that's something I like about this Indiana team. Roman Hemby, Kalen Black, these guys in the backfield also able to get it done. Each had a touchdown last week against Alabama. Each had over 80 yards. I mean, this is a team that you're looking to see grow week in and week out. Kirk Cinetti has been a phenomenal addition to this team, and you look at what he's been able to do with Fernando Mendoza, now winning the Heisman. Kirk Cinetti getting himself a contract extension as well. This Indiana team is building something special here, and I do think they're going to have enough to get over this Oregon team. They did it earlier this season, winning 30-20, and I just don't see enough mistakes being made by this Indiana team to give Dante Moore and this Oregon offense any opportunity to come back in a game, and you just see too many of those mistakes being made by Dante Moore of late. Give me Indiana to beat Oregon. Hey everybody, real quick message. If you're not already, please subscribe, like, comment. I love to engage with you guys. Check me out on social media at LRBuzz_pod. That's on TikTok and Instagram. And check out my website, letstalksports.com. That's Let's TAWK Sports.com. Thank you guys, and I appreciate it.